Hey, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to today's video, and I hope you've been doing very well. So today we're going to be checking out a brand new guitar. So I'm going to be doing sort of an unboxing video, a little bit of overview on what this guitar is all about, and as well as a bit of a demo for you guys. And then I will give my final thoughts on it at the end of this video. So there are going to be timestamps at the bottom of this video, so feel free to skip around or skip ahead if you'd like. So I am pretty excited in checking this thing out in today's video because I've been looking forward to playing this thing for the longest time. So I pretty much pre-ordered this guitar a day after his announcement. So it took such a long time because I guess Ibanez was not expecting it to be a huge success, and so they've fallen behind on manufacturing these guitars. And so yeah, I'm very excited to be doing this video for you guys. Oh no. That's kind of my fault for leaving it on, huh? So yeah, don't forget to comment, like this video, because that would really help push this video out to more people, and it would really help me out. So I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, so now let's get into the whole unboxing portion of this video. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, making sure I don't have my coffee over there because that would suck. Alright, there we go. Put that right there. Alright. Now, time for the fun part of pulling these out. Alright. The little letter from Sweetwater. Bit of a thank you thing. Comes with a sticker. Alright. Oof. Uh-oh. Bit sketchy. It should be fine. It should be fine. Y'all are good? Okay. Alright. So, that side is up. Put that over there. Look at that go. Hey, there it is. I was looking for these. Alright. Now this is why I ordered from Sweetwater. They always give you candy. So tell me in the comments down below of what candy is your favorite to get from Sweetwater. Mine is the Smarties, but for some reason they didn't include it this time. So my second favorite would have to be the Tootsie Roll. That's the good stuff. Alright, kind of want to make sure that I'm not. What, girl? What? I gotta record. Smells good, huh? Got that Sweetwater smell. Yeah. Got that Sweetwater and the Ibanez smell. Yeah. Alright. Let me cut this thing open. Alright, so. Alright. Whole bunch of packaging. Can I just pull? I can. Okay. Oh, jeez. I do not want to make a mess when I pull this out. Okay. Let me pull these over here. Are these the unpoppable kind? Oh. I can pop them. Alright. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. I don't think y'all are ready. I don't think y'all are ready for this. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I was not expecting that. Let me. So I can handle a little bit of beating. Okay, how many stuff am I gonna have? Uh-oh. Ah, so pretty, so pretty. And these. Before I get into all that, let me set this thing down for a minute and clean up just a little bit. Alright, now let's get back into the video. But first, let me grab my copy. Put this over there for now. Alright, so, see what we're working with. First, let's do a bit of a tuning test. It's not right. So this guitar is a electric acoustic nylon guitar. So on the top you have your tuner and your preamp, and your preamp has a 2-band EQ, so you're able to control the treble and the bass, and it also has a phase button right here on the top. And to plug in is right here on the side, and right next to the output you have your 9-volt battery case. And what's really cool is battery is included. So, and you have your sound hole on the top. So far, I really love, whoops, forgot to turn that off. I really love how this guitar feels. It's super lightweight. And another thing is, it feels like you're holding the body of an electric guitar, but not really. So it's like it's very comfortable to hold. Completely forgot how the rest goes, so that's the best I can do for that one for now. Oh, but another one I really want to play is Alright, well, I think I'm gonna call it here, and I'll see you guys in just a minute. So I'm gonna go plug this thing in and see how the preamp sounds. So I'll give you guys some of my final thoughts on this and kind of my short review of this instrument. So yeah, I'll be right back in just a moment. So it has been a little over a week since I've been messing around with this guitar. My original plan for this video was to immediately jump this portion of the video, since last Sunday when I recorded that previous recording that you guys just watched, I thought it would be a better idea if I just spent a little bit more time with this guitar so I can see if I can run into any flaws or any issues that may arise after playing with this thing. I'm happy to say that I haven't run into any sort of big issue with this guitar, but there is a couple of nitpicking that I'm going to get to later in this video. But oh, that is dirty. What? Let me wipe that down for you. Hopefully that doesn't really show up. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I spent the week with this guitar. I'm happy to say that I am really enjoying this thing. It is super comfortable to play on, and it is pretty lightweight. But before I get into my experience with this guitar over the course of the week, I want to talk about the specs real quick, more in depth. I know I already talked about it a little bit earlier in the video, but right now I want to go into more detail about this guitar now that I have my notes up there on my computer. Okay, so this guitar is a nylon electric acoustic, and this is a signature guitar by Tim Henson of Polyphia. So the body is a 50mm thin body, so it is a very thin guitar, and it has a deep cutaway on the back, so it has easy access. This neck is a C-shaped neck, so it is kind of a thick neck in my opinion, but it feels pretty great to play on anyway, so no complaint for me there. And another thing that I was trying to highlight in the previous recording was about the outline on the body. It has the kind of pearl material running alongside the body and running alongside of the fretboard. And that really adds a really nice touch to the overall design of this guitar. And also on the tuning pegs, I don't know if it's going to translate really well on the camera, but it has the same kind of pearly type material on those as well, so it looks really, really pretty. Another thing I really like, on the side here you can kind of see sort of like an engraved designs on the gold plates around these tuning pegs, which is really neat. The fingerboard is a walnut, and it is in a flat 15.75 inch radius. And the fretboard has the Tree of Death inlays, which is inspired by the Steve Vai Tree of Life inlays. So this is a really neat touch to this guitar. So it really makes this guitar look really unique, and I love me a guitar that kind of stands out from everything that is out there. Down here you have your access to the truss rod in case you need to make some adjustment to your relief. And on the electronic side we have a Fishman Sonic Core pickup, and you get 2 band EQ on this. So you got your bass and you got your treble. Pretty much have the treble and bass dialed in the way I like, and this is what you're going to see in the demo later on in this video. Another cool feature that is on this guitar is it has a built-in tuner, and it also has a phase button. So when you turn on the phase button, you're not going to receive any sort of feedback coming out from an amplifier. One of the two things I'm kind of like iffy about on this guitar is the tuner. The tuner isn't very reliable, but it does the job done. So if you need any sort of reference to tune the low E, and if you're able to tune the rest down from there, in my opinion you should definitely do that, because there's a bit of a there's quite a bit of a wiggle room with the tuner. So sometimes when it says that you're in pitch with E, you're not really exactly tuned in to the pitch of E sometimes. So I find myself having to tune by ear a lot after I tune 1 or 2 strings using the tuner. Another really unique thing on this is the sound hole is on the top of the guitar. So normally on a traditional guitar you'd have it on the front. So like the Ovation guitars, they have the holes like up here, down here, or around. And another traditional electric acoustic, they'd have the sound hole up here on the front. But on this one, the sound hole is right on the top, which is pretty cool. This guitar sounds great, both plugged in and by itself. And this is, in my opinion, a great at-home jam guitar, especially if you're just bumming around watching TV and you just want to practice a little bit. It's not super loud, but it's also not super quiet, and so it sounds pretty good. And so you got your 9 volts down here, and you got your output right there. And I believe that is everything spec-wise on this guitar. Oh, another thing I noticed, it has a cover back here, which is, I'm assuming, for the electronic portion of this guitar. So you just unscrew it, do whatever you want if you're into swapping some pieces out for like aftermarket stuff. Alright, so gold hardwares. Gold hardwares there. So you got gold hardwares for your straps, machine, the tuning machines, and on the side. And yeah, that is pretty much everything that I want to talk about spec-wise on this guitar. So here is what it sounds like without plugging it into your amp or your DAW or what have you. And I'm going to do sort of like a back and forth comparison to how it sounds like plugged into my DAW, and also how it sounds like straight from the onboard microphone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this playthrough, and I'll see you guys in just a second. So I want to talk about my experience with this guitar over the course of the week. I'm not going to say it's a 10 out of 10, but there is some nitpicking stuff that I'm going to get into. But over the week, found myself wanting to play this more than any of my other electric acoustic. And that is because of the body itself. It feels like you're playing an electric guitar body, but it's an electric acoustic. If the body, it just feels comfortable to play on, wrap your arm around, and it's not super bulky, which is a big plus for me because I hate playing on super bulky guitars. And my Ovation and my Dean electric acoustic guitars, they are great. They are great to play on, don't get me wrong, but I really prefer the thin body feel. I don't know what else to say, but to say I really enjoy the feel of this guitar so far, and I am looking forward to laying down some original track on this thing for a couple of my songs that I think this thing would really shine out in. So here's some of my nitpickings and some of my opinions on what would make this thing a little bit better than what it is right now, at least on this particular build that I received. So before I get into the nitpicking side of things, I just want to clarify that just because this guitar has a couple flaws to it as far as the setup goes, does not mean that how it is 100% on all of the build. Every build is going to have a different feel to it. It's going to have its own issues. You may run into issues that I haven't run into, and I might have issues that you will never run into, you know? So I just want to clarify that before I get into the nitpicking side of things. So one of my nitpicking thing is the placement of the tuner, the preamp, the band, this thing right here. I wish there's a little bit more down here, and that is because whenever I'm playing my guitar, usually my arm and my shoulder is blocking the interface. So whenever I am trying to tune, I have to do that, and it could just be the way that the body was carved out, so they had no choice but to have it a little bit up here. But that's okay, you know, it's not like a deal breaker kind of thing. I just have to remember to do this, and then move the body up forward so I can see the tuner, and also kind of like look at it to change any of the treble or the bass. So that's one of the things. Another thing that's kind of a big deal for me is the action of the strings. The action is very high to my liking, so let me see if I can kind of like, maybe that'll, if I can like zoom in on it in editing, you could probably tell like how high the action is. And that is a little bit too high, but it's not unplayable. Makes me mess up more frequently than I'd like on the guitar because I am more of a low action kind of player. That's number 2 on my nitpicking. Let's see, what else? That might be the only thing. Oh, no. One more thing. The price point. I think $800, in my opinion, is a little bit up there for this guitar. But you can't really blame Ibanez because this is a signature guitar after all. And Tim Henson is a very big, well-known guitar player in the guitar community. So, of course, they are going to jack up the price just a little bit. But if I was in charge of setting the price, I would say this guitar could do like $450, $500, but I'm willing to let the $800 slide only because it is a signature guitar and this is a beautifully made guitar. Other than the action and me having to go in and do some setup work myself on the saddle and the placement of the electronics, it still is a beautiful guitar and it plays well and it sounds great I know I said the price point was like my last nitpicking, but one last thing I've noticed that is a little bit tricky on this guitar is the intonation. I had to find a sort of a middle ground between it being off on the open and it being more intonated down the fretboard. So what I've noticed I've had to do is I had to, let's say I tune the low E first, right? And then if I want to tune the A string, I want to go a little bit higher up. That way I can kind of tune the open to the intonation of the fretboard. So it had a nice middle ground between not being pitch perfect on the open, but it's not very noticeable when you're playing like open chords like that. And so it kind of gives it a little bit of a middle ground between the open and it being intonated all the way up the fretboard. But other than that, you know, it plays great for now. It plays awesome. So my final thoughts on this is it is a great guitar, but for $800, I'm a little iffy on that. So if I were to rate it from 1 to 10, 1 being like the worst of the worst, and 10 is way up there, I would have to give this guitar a 7. Only because it would get a 7.5 or 8 out of 10, but it's not average, but it does get some extra points for the uniqueness of this guitar. So, like I said about the fretboard, it got the mother of death fret inlays, the pearl trims around the fretboard and around the body, and the pearly kind of style with the tuning peg and the gold hardwares. It all adds a really nice touch to the overall design on this guitar. I would give this thing an 8 out of 10, but I had to knock down a point only because I'm going to have to go in and do a little bit of a setup work if I want to make this even more comfortable to play on. And so yeah, I think I am going to wrap up this video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, please do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button, and let me know down in the comments down below on your thoughts on this guitar. Or what are your thoughts on this video? Let me know how I am doing in editing this video and talking to you guys. So let me know down in the comments down below. And so yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.